I don't know if my winners are the biggest winners. Oh, wait, there's one. Emeka Egbuka, who had all kinds of hype going on in the preseason, comes into week one, and with the help of Baker Mayfield, has a very great debut. Only 6 targets, but a couple of touchdowns, including what ended up being the game winner, I believe.
Yep, it was. He was 58% started, 6 targets. I mean, look, that's not great. Out of 32 pass attempts, Sterling Shepard also had 6 targets. Mike Evans had 8, but Egbuka led the team in receiving with 67 yards, and he had 2 of 3 touchdowns from Baker Mayfield. Bucky Irving had the other one, and they only put up 23 points, but they had good fantasy days.
I felt like they got off to a slow start, and then once they got kicking in the middle of the second half, I'd say, that's when we saw the real Tampa offense moving forward.
Okay, I'm going to give my other winners now, but I'm stealing Dave's because the biggest winner was Justin Fields. He was awesome.
He was.
In almost every way. And I didn't watch, especially the 12 p.m. games. It's almost impossible to watch every snap of every game. But I saw a lot of his passes that were on target, on time, looked good, and he runs the ball like a maniac. Only 48 yards in this game, but 2 rushing touchdowns. Against the Steelers. He scored 30 against the Steelers.
Okay, Heath, you have lived in Florida for like a decade. They're not the 12 p.m. games anymore, okay?
They're still the 12 p.m. games. You know what? They're the 10 a.m. games for the West Coast.
They are.
12 p.m. is a nice compromise, and it fits so much better. Football starts at noon.
Okay, fine. So actually on the broadcast, because I did watch a lot of this game, on the broadcast, the color broadcaster, this was an Iron Eagle game. So who was he doing?
That would be JJ Watt.
Yeah.
So heard of him?
I think he said,
a coworker of yours.
It's not a good day to be someone who thinks Justin Fields can't pass or something like that. He had a great day, and he was started in 19% of leagues, and he'll get Buffalo next week. He's been a very up and down guy in his career, week by week. So let's hope he can string it together. And I'll say, I brought up that when DJ Moore had his big week or big year with Justin Fields, he had a lot of long touchdowns. And that has been something that has really eluded Garrett Wilson in his career. He's been very bad at making explosive plays. And then I watched all the throws of 20 or more air yards last year for Garrett Wilson, and I thought Aaron Rodgers was largely responsible for it. So it is very nice to see them hook up on like a 35-ish yard touchdown, whatever it was. Sorry, I don't remember the yardage, but big play for Garrett Wilson.
It was a great throw and a great play.
Yeah, so Fields, 19% started. Garrett Wilson was much more started than that. 62%. So people had that production on their bench. All right, we love the Jets offense. Are we buying into it? We're still, let's see how it goes for another week before we
can we see the Bills defense tonight?
Yeah, okay, we can see that. All right, so Egbuka, Fields, we'll call Garrett Wilson a winner. Breece Hall.
No, you won't. This is the only show you're ever early for.
Breece Hall is one of Jamie's winners, and Michael Pittman. So what do you make it like Breece Hall not getting the goal line work? What is that?
So look, he looked awesome. There's no doubt about it. He looked absolutely fantastic. And at the same time, this was my fear for him was could he potentially be a little bit of a trap back? Because the 2 catches for 38 yards is great. If that's 2 for 10, it's a different conversation. And losing the goal line opportunity. And I did like the fact that last time they were down in the goal line, the Justin Fields touchdown run, it was Breece Hall, I think, for almost every snap. So I was hoping actually he was going to get an end zone opportunity there. And everybody thinks I hate Breece Hall. I don't. I'd rather see him succeed. But just the way that he ran was absolutely fantastic. Losing Elijah Vera Tucker, playing the Steelers, like this was, and getting 21 total touches. Like this was as good as you could possibly hope for, aside from losing the touchdown run to, Braylon Allen. Allen did not look great in his opportunities. And it was really never about Allen ever being better than Breece Hall. I hope nobody took that from what I was saying. It never was Allen was going to look better, run better, be a better running back than Braylon Allen. It was just about would he take away opportunities? Would he get those goal line opportunities? And then the reason I like Braylon Allen was, could there be a chance of a Breece Hall injury? Would he step into that role? So great for Breece Hall. I think he has a chance to be a solid number 2 running back with the potential to be still a top 10 guy. But if he's not going to get goal line opportunities and only live in that 2 to 3 catch range, it's not going to be as good maybe as he could be based on the way that he looks.
I will just say, and I was just looking at this today because I was wondering, like, he did this against the Steelers, and who knows, maybe we'll find out the Steelers defense isn't as good as we thought or just had a bad day. But they finished the season, the fantasy season, Falcons, Dolphins, Jags, Saints, Patriots.
Oh boy.
If he's healthy at the end of the year, he might just be the league winning running back.
And even if he's not, whoever that running back is could be. So that's really intriguing. That's a good call. I thought the Steelers defense looked terrible until very late in the game. They looked old.
I don't know how they won. It was wild that the Jets lost that game.
They scored more points.
Aaron Rodgers' revenge game was better than Justin Fields' revenge game.
I guess so. Michael, it was really the fumble on the kickoff that changed everything. Michael Pittman, 6 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. I think we should talk in general about the Colts. I mean, Josh Downs had a bad game, but they come out and just light up the Dolphins. They said on Red Zone, I think they said that this was the first quarterback they've seen or that they've been able to find since like 1991 or something that scored on every single possession. Unbelievable. So do we buy this? Like, how much, Jamie, are we buying this Colts explosion headlined by, I guess you can say Michael Pittman's your winner, but Jones and Pittman?
I was going to say Tyler Warren. I thought Dave was going to take him, so I didn't want to, give him the opportunity to tout the guy that he was so high on. I think for both those guys, just the way that they came out and performed, I still think Josh Downs is going to have a pretty significant role. And how much of this was the hamstring layover, missing practice time, prior to the start of the season? But if you were in the Pittman camp and in the Tyler Warren camp, this was exactly what you wanted to see. You wanted to see 2 guys step forward and have the chance to be the focal point of the offense. You wanted to see them take advantage of a great matchup, and you wanted to see them put up great fantasy production. And so, look, Warren was being drafted as a starter, whether he was top 6, 7, 8, or 10, 11, 12. He was being drafted as a low-end number 1 tight end, and you were thrilled with the production. For Pittman, it was, can he get back to being any semblance of a decent fantasy option? Can he be better than Josh Downs? Can he be a viable guy that you can use? And I think this game proved that. Last year he had the back injury. He struggled with Anthony Richardson. His numbers were better, not by much, but with Joe Flacco. And so Daniel Jones being there, I think is going to be a good thing for Michael Pittman. Keith mentioned it. Next week, they get the Broncos. This is most likely where Patrick Surtain goes. You're not going to want to start Michael Pittman. But I think you're going to be pretty happy rostering Michael Pittman at this point. And when they do have favorable matchups, he can have not necessarily these highs, but, number 3 quality production. And I think it's a good thing that they came out and they played the way that they did from a passing game perspective, because a lot of questions, obviously. And clearly the Colts made the right call, at least for 1 week.
Okay. Dave, your winners are Justin Fields, who we talked about, and Emeka Egbuka, who we talked about.
Happy to contribute to the show.
Anything else you want to say about Fields and Egbuka?
No. I don't want to say, well, I need to see this again from Justin Fields. I thought he played great. I mentioned earlier what Drake May's off-target rate was. Justin Fields' off-target rate was 0.0.
Nice.
Heath. Fast, accurate, and smooth is a good way to go through life, son. And he lived it today. And unless we learn, and we really learn that the Steelers defense is a shell of itself, then there's definite optimism that Justin Fields could be a good quarterback in fantasy.
Heath's winners, a couple of rookies, Jacory Croskey-Merritt, 10 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown, no catches, 1 target against the Giants, started in 22% of leagues. Harold Fannin, 5% rostered, 7 catches for 63 yards on 9 targets against the Bengals.
Led the Browns in targets, 2nd in receptions, 3rd in receiving yards. And maybe the big takeaway is that it just looks like a big problem for David Njoku, because a couple of the layups that used to go to Njoku did not go there this game. He also made a big play that should have led to the game-winning drive if they had a kicker. And I just think when a team comes out and features a rookie like this in the very first game of the season, even when you look at it and you say, well, it's the Browns and they've already got David Njoku, you can't leave that guy on the waiver wire just in case, especially considering that he just completely destroyed college football, even at a lower level the year before. So great showing from Harold Fannin. No, I will not sell him high in Dynasty yet. And then Bill, I was skeptical. I did tell people don't drop them based on a preseason depth chart. I think hopefully we've learned those don't mean anything. But when a rookie averages 8.2 yards per carry on 10 carries, I mostly expect him to get more carries next week. Chris Rodriguez was inactive. That was great for him. He looked very good as a runner.
Tell me if this is a Commander stat or a Giant stat. Bill averaged 4 yards before contact per run.
I honestly don't know. I mean, I would say that watching that game, the line of scrimmage was so one-sided. The Commanders just dominated that game. In fact, there was a point, if you're looking at Tyrone Tracy's stat line, which is horrible, Tyrone Tracy was 10 carries for 24 yards. Late in the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter, they said on the broadcast that the Giants had either I think it was 1 yard before contact gained. I mean, that's insane.
It's terrible.
That just tells you they got absolutely whooped up front. So the Commanders, I mentioned this when we did the preview, that they changed their defensive tackles. They got bigger. They were small at defensive tackle last year, and they stunk against the run. So during the offseason, they really made it a point to get bigger at defensive tackle. And at least in this one game against the Giants, it worked. Tracy and Scottaboo were miserable.
I cannot wait. I mean, you can go ahead and play the game of the week music right now, Adam.
Washington Green Bay.
Commanders Packers next week. I cannot wait.
Look what they just did against the Lions.
Yeah, I am a little bit nervous about how the Commanders' run game will be against the Packers.
But that's fine.
That might be a game Jane Daniels has to do his thing. Hey, the 42-yard run. This is just where I want to wrap it up on Bill. 42-yard run. 18 of the yards came before contact. And then he had a 12-yard run. 10 of the yards came before contact. I think that he's going to earn more work without question. I think he's a huge winner.
Yeah,